Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Bhakta Prahlad. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Which song you want to lead?
Guru Puja, all the English translations. Adinath Prabhu. So we'll get the Guru Puja done right now.
Thank you. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nishtarai Payechikeba. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistaya Payechikeba. Charya Vaishnava Seva Nistaya Payechikeba. Namasheshtam we can do together. Namasheshtam manumapi shachiputram atra swarupam rupam tasya grajam urupurim maturim goshtavatim radha gundam girivaram ahoradika madavasham prapto yasta pratita kripaya shri gurum tam natosmi. He Guru Gyana Dinna Bandho Swananda Data Karuneka Sindhu Vrindavana Sinahitavatara Prasida Radha Pranaya Pachara. He Dina Bandhu Karuneka Sindhu Guru Prasadam Mai Mandamudhe Laksha Parare Bahupapagade Tatpada Padmestu Matischa Krishne. Yadyapi Amar Guru Chaitanya Dasa Tatapi Janiyami Tanhara Prakasha. Guru Krishna Rupahana Shastrera Pramane Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karena Bhakta Gane. Shiksha Guru ke thay jani Krishnera Swarupa Antaryami Bhakta Shrestha Edu Virupa. Nevo Payantyapi Chitam Kavayastavesha Brahmayusha Pikritam Ridamula Smaranta Yontad Bahis Anubritam Ashubham Vidunvan Acharya Chaitya Vapusha Svagatim Janakti. Without serving the representative of Krishna, nobody can approach Krishna. I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master, by whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachi Mata, the association of Srila Swarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami, and his older brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radha Kund and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Gurudev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy, so that my mind may be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. Although I know that my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, spiritual master cannot be other than a servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. According to the deliberate opinion of all revealed scriptures, the spiritual master is none different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Spiritual masters always represent themselves as the humblest servitors of the personality of Godhead, but the disciple must look upon the spiritual master as the manifested representation of Godhead. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as the Supersoul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Srila Madana Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is a personal representative of Srila Govinda Deva Vigraha. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with a prolonged lifetime of Brahma, for you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Super Soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma Bandhon Mui Sabadhana Mate Yahara prasadevai Evavaturiya Krishna prapti hoya hoite Krishna prapti hoya hoite Padmavakya Chitete Koriya Atya Arna Koriho Manne Asha Rati Eise Utamagati Je prasadi pure sarva asha Prasadi Pure Sarva Asha Chakudan Diloye Janme Janme Prabhu Se Chakudan Diloye Janme Janme Prabhu Se Divya Gyan Riddhi Prakashito Divya Gyan Riddhi Prakashito Prema Bhakti Katha Hoite Avidya Vinashayate Prema Bhakti Yaka Hoite Avidya Vinashayate Vedegaya Harasharito Vedegaya Harasharito Shiguru Karuna Sindhu Vadamachanara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Jivana Lokanath Lokera Jivana Prabhu Koradoya Dehamore Padachaya Ha Prabhu Koradoya Dehamore Padashraya Ebteja Kushikubana Ebteja Kushikubana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirdishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadi Shatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. O He Vaishnava Thakura, Daya Sagora, Edase Puruna Kori. Dida Pada Chaya, Shodo He Amaya, Tomara Charana Tori. Chaya Vegadomi, Chaya Dosha Shodhi, Chaya Guna Deho Dasi. Chaya Satsanga, Deho e amare, Você te sangueira ashe. Ekaki amara, nahi paya bala, harinama sankirtane. Tumi kripa kori, Shraddha bindu diya, Deho Krishna nama dhane. Krishna se tomara, Krishna de te paro, tomara shakati achi. Amito kanga, Krishna Krishna bole, daitava pachi pachi. Vaishnava Thakura, Noyara Sagora, Vedase Koduna Kori. Jaya Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Vaishnava Thakur, Jaya Vaishnava Thakur. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jaya Mahaprabhu, 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 Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Narahari, Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Narahari. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gauda Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gauda Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Let's arrange for that. Dear devotees, will kindly arrange for the Srimad Bhagavatam class now. Thank you very much.
Jai. Hare Krishna. Experiment we are doing today. Hare Krishna. Good morning and welcome to the Saturday morning program at the ISKCON of Silicon Valley. Prabhu, can you turn on the Zoom please so I can see if somebody is online and we can acknowledge the audience there. You can see Mantra Siddhi, Subodhini, Shirley. Okay, great. So, as many of you know, ISKCON is an acronym for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And this society was founded in 1966 by our teacher, our founder Acharya. Acharya means a spiritual teacher. His name is His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanarvind, or AC, Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who came to the Western world in 1965 on the instruction of his spiritual master. And he wanted to expand the message of Krishna consciousness and the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in the Western world. So there are so many varieties. It's better. Yeah, so there are already so many institutions and organizations in the world, right? So what was the need to establish one new organization in 1966? People are hungry, maybe we are providing food, yeah. People need clothes. Homeless people need shelter. Do we provide them clothes and homeless shelter? We don't provide that. Then what is the need that this organization is serving today? Spiritual need. And if we can pass on some mics in the audience, Prabhu, that will be really great. So because the session is going to be interactive, so maybe 20 mics in the front and 30 in the back. I know there are not going to be many audience today. It's winter time, holidays time anyways, so everybody is traveling. Yeah. Spiritual need. So spiritual knowledge or spiritual need can be fulfilled when we understand the fundamentals. The spiritual knowledge actually means knowledge of three things to make it perfect. One is the knowledge of myself, who am I? Then the next is the knowledge of the supreme source, which is a divine source for everybody. And then the third is the relationship between the self and the supreme source. And that makes it the complete knowledge or spiritual knowledge. So there are several ways to walk on this path of spiritual realization and pursue this spiritual knowledge. Some of the paths need people to remove their clothes and go to the Himalayas in the winters, in the snow. Some people pursue other paths and they fast for days and months together. And different ways of self-realizations are there. We talked about meditation in the morning today, right? So, good news. Our path is very simple. It's called Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means a path of bhakti, a love and devotion. And this path starts at 4:30 in the morning. We are singing, dancing, and jumping with joy. And then we sit together, we do some meditation, chanting, japa. And then we read some books together, the transcendental books of wisdom literature. and then we dance and sing together again, and then we eat, right? So certain methods are so simple in the world that people just tend to ignore simple things, but this is the most potent and the most relevant method for today's modern age. So good news here, as I said, we don't need to go to Himalayas. We can do it right here in the Silicon Valley. So anyone here for the first time for the morning program? Okay. What's your name? Radhakrishnan, right? Okay, and you? Santosh. Okay, and may I ask your name? Sorry? Thais. Nice to meet you. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. So, yeah, singing, dancing, and let's get started on that. But before that, I made a promise to Mr. Radhakrishnan because he was going to share his reflection in the morning and then the darshan opened. So let's hear from Radhakrishnan ji what he was about to say.
Yeah, I wanted to share this morning about what I experienced first time I came in. I was kind of meditating and chanting at that time. My first was when I was sitting there listening, I was kind of hearing myself. I'm still at the early stages of self-realization, kind of pursuing that path, just started that. I was hearing all my questions coming in, but as I keep meditating, things started cooling down. But then at the end, when I opened Bhagavad Gita and reading, it's kind of helping me answer some of those questions through my own understanding. My language still is not universal, so my expression may not be universal, but those are my initial thoughts that I experienced this morning. And I later realized when we were doing bhakti, I started calming down some more. And I feel that now, if I open Bhagavad Gita and start reading, maybe I might realize a little more. And I know it's not just one reading, I have to keep reading and listening to myself, reading and listening to myself. That might help. That's my reflection so far this morning.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your reflection. That's a very, very powerful statement that you made. And I think I can add to it that, yes, maybe our language is not universal, but our emotions and our hope that we are bringing this session, right, that's universal, that we all are hoping and aspiring for something better in our lives. Otherwise, there are millions of ways people are spending time with, right, in the morning of Saturday here on the winter solstice, right, the longest night. And out of all the things that we could be doing, my heartiest thanks and congratulations to all of you to pick up this path and getting up from the bed early in the morning and coming for the morning session here. Not everyone in the world is doing that. So great job. So yeah, singing kirtan is an integral part of our bhakti yoga process. And we can start with singing the names of Lord Radha, Krishna and Radha, Jai Radha Madhava Kirtan. This song glorifies the names and pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Okay? All right. So if you don't mind sharing on the screen, for those who do not know, they can follow the lyrics on the screen. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yaśodā-nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yaśodā-nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yaśodā-nandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yaśodā-nandana Rajajana-ranjana Yamuna-tira vanachari Yamuna-tira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yaśodā-nandana Rajajana-ranjana Yamuna-tira vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Shri Mahaprabhu ki, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Dev Bhagwan ki, Shri Prabhupada ki, Samavit Bhaktivinoda ki. Hare Krishna.
Hello? Yeah.
So as I promised, singing, music and then reading. So today we'll be reading from a transcendental literature. It's called Srimad Bhagavatam. So there are so many literatures in the world and they provide variety of knowledge. I wouldn't say necessarily knowledge, it's information actually. Knowledge is more meaningful. Information could be from the sports, from movies, from politics, from all over the world, right? But Srimad Bhagavatam is one such literature that has a very, very profound impact on our heart. So it's said that when somebody listens to Srimad Bhagavatam message regularly, Lord Krishna manifests himself in the audience, the listener's heart, very quickly, very soon. In Sanskrit it is said, Srinvata Swakatha Nityam Srinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Guritashta Swateshtitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Hidi. So Kalena Nati Dirghena means na ati dirghena. Dirgha means long and na ati means without long, very quickly. So Lord Krishna manifests very quickly in the heart of somebody who is regularly and with full devotion reading and listening to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then it goes on to say, Pravishta Karna Randhrena Swanam Bhava Saroruham Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Sarilase Athasharat. Means the message of Bhagavatam enters through our heart. Our ears goes to the heart. And those who listen with the full dedication, full attention, this message. The message goes from the ears to the heart, sits on the loving relationship in the heart. And that's where it starts cleaning everything. And what are those things? They are our enemies. Anger, lust, greed, all of those things. So our guest for today, Sushma ji, has arrived with her family. She's my great friend and a neighbor. Thank you for coming. So you did not miss much, except some prasadam in the morning. No, we didn't have it yet, don't worry. We have in a couple of hours. Okay. So we're giving introduction or preamble to what we are doing today. We read a small kirtan and then we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavat Puran today. So it's the holidays time and a lot of things happen during holidays. I think the most prominent of them is the giving gifts, right? And shopping. Anyone who disagrees with this, right? Shopping. So we purchase a lot of things in our life and we give gifts to other people. Sometimes we need those things, sometimes we don't need those things and we just pass on the gifts. It's true, come on, like admit it, right? We pass on the gifts because sometimes we don't need them. So anybody can guess what is the statistics or some data on American economy on spending of this holidays time? It's working.
It increases.
Well, increase. That's a very precise, accurate answer, yes. But how much is recent years? Anybody knows? Any guesses? How many millions or billions? Any wild guess? Yes, Prabhu. How much American economy is spending on?
5 billion.
5 billion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only.
Well, that's nothing. Let's increase it a little more. Go higher. It's way more than 5 billion. Thais, any guesses? That was a lot already? American economy on holidays, the capitalization of this holidays time is close to almost $1 trillion. It's more than almost $950, $960 billion, getting close to $1 trillion from 2 years ago, by the way. And this Christmas holidays time was started in the name of Lord Jesus Christ. Interestingly, nobody remembers Christ anymore. And all of this capitalization is made in the name of Santa. So if you go to Macy's and Target and Nordstrom and Amazon and all the shops and showrooms and everywhere, more than the birthday boy, we see Santa. So that's the kind of, just some stats, sharing about the gifts season here. And but that reminds me of one more thing actually. Some of you know that I have a small son. He goes to a preschool, right? So I was going to his school one day and not just before his school actually. I've seen something on his dress, his shoes actually, and that's another emblem of American capitalization on something which is not so meaningful to many people, which is dinosaurs. So right from the shoes of the kids to school bags, to bottles, to lunch boxes, to t-shirts, to toys, to school classroom, and stickers and hats and everything, there is dinosaurs. So I was going to my son's class and was talking about Krishna to the kids, and they asked me to talk to the kids, the small children, about a story from Krishna's life. And I talked about cows and monkeys, and the small children of 3 and 4 years old, they could not relate to cows and monkeys because most of them have never seen cows or monkeys in their life. But they could relate most with something which is called dinosaur. And that's another emblem of capitalization of American economy, right? Now, interesting correlation between the two. Anybody can guess? Between Santa Claus and dinosaur. Mike.
No one's personally seen them.
Because they don't exist. Right? Yeah. So that's just kind of little icebreaker for the day. Yeah. So back to the topic of gifts. Yeah, gifts are important, right? Charity gifts are important. It's very important, and they connect us to people. There are people who are in need, and we must give charity, right? In the right place, circumstances, and time and situation to right person. So that's the topic for today, holiday season. So this is a story. Before we go into the story, we'll talk about a real example from somebody who is our neighbor, actually. Very nice, very kind-hearted lady. So she was telling that she likes to donate in charity. And she recently had her son's wedding, and they donated, I think, some dozens or some hundreds of blankets to poor people, which is a good deed, right? And she's a very kind-hearted person. And she was telling me, she was in a Walmart shopping lot some days back, and a person came to her car and knocked the window and said, no, I need some help and give me some money. And she was so much, emotional to see her situation of that person. Like, yeah, this is a poor guy and I need to help this person. So she scrolled down the window of her car and then she gave him something out of just a kind-heartedness. But I would say more of this was an impulse, because after a few hours, and she came to our house for a program in the evening, and she mentioned, well, what could have happened if that person took my money and maybe he's misusing for drugs, addictions, alcohols, and all those things. Even worse, what could that person have done to me if I scrolled down the window and he could have shown a gun or something? So she did something out of impulse, but she had a genuine emotion in her mind, a sense of helping somebody in the time of need. But the person could have done something wrong too, right? So let's take a couple of reflections and your thoughts on what kind of charity suits these kind of environments. What should be our mood in serving the people? And maybe an answer to that lady who was a little confused on what should be the right thing to do. Radhakrishnan-ji, please use the mic.
It's not working.
Prabhu, can we have 20 more mics, please? I mean, at least 2 or 3 at least. Yeah.
Interesting you mentioned that. This reminds me of somebody mentioning to me a long time back, is when somebody is in need or asks for help, and this person says, I'm going to give it to him, and his point is, that guy may be misusing it or using it same thing. And the person said, what if he really needs it? Even if it is a little chance of somebody needing it, but when he needs it, he deserves it. If something is not getting used, that is okay, but at the cost of not depriving somebody of need is when he feels good about donating.
So that's just one aspect of that, yeah, there's somebody in genuine need and we must help them. Yeah. Adinath Prabhu, you had something? Let's just retire and unsubscribe to this mic. It works? Okay.
It reminds me of Bhagavad Gita, where in there, Krishna, the speaker, says that one should know whom to give charity to and what is actual charity, instead of guessing. And therefore, at least in this movement, one form of charity is offering sanctified foodstuff prasadam, because it has a spiritual effect on one's mind. Or inviting them to hear transcendental sound, as you were singing earlier, things that actually will benefit them eternally, and instead of a few dollars or something like that, and giving them the chance to misuse it, and we invite them to something that we know is beneficial.
So basically you are saying if you give a man a fish, he will eat for a day. If you teach him how to fish, will eat for the entire life. I'm not recommending to eat fish anyways, but that's the proverbial way to say that, yeah, you should impart some values to a person that they can use for the entire lifetime. Good. Other thoughts in the back? On the charity? Giving gifts? No other thoughts? Okay. Then we can move to the story. So this story is about a person who happens to be the richest person of the world, this universe, the entire planetary systems, upper and lower. In order to give something, we must have something first. That's the basic premise, right? If I'm giving something, I have it first. This is a story of the biggest charity ever done in the history of the recorded narrations of the human life cycle. And which today we have Vedic knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, that goes back even to the point of creation of this universe. Biggest ever charity or donation that anybody made. And how was that person able to make a donation? Because he had all of that in his possessions. This is a story of somebody named, actually before I call the name of the person. So in the past, few of my friends were telling that, when we read the Bhagavad Gita and especially for the people from non-Indian backgrounds and whose first language is not Hindi or Indian languages, they feel a little difficulty in pronouncing the Indian names, right? Robin? Correct? Okay. Yeah, keep me honest. Okay. So, well, my name is simple, but there are other names which are more difficult to pronounce. And in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are names like Drishtaketu, Drishtadhumnya, Dhritarashtra, Indradhumnya, Chitraketu. On top of that, we have diacritics in Srila Prabhupada's language, Sanskrit to English translation, right? Is it C or Ch? Like, what is this? Citraketu or Chitraketu or Kitraketu? So it's a genuine question, by the way, right? And then in Mahabharata, there's Ghatotkach. And then Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, some which is similar names, right, to brother. So, and then this person was telling me it's difficult to pronounce these Bhagavatam names. So I said, wait for it. You haven't seen the real Indian culture. Because if you go beyond the Bhagavatam, there are more real names in the Indian way of life. I know somebody named, let me think of his name, full name. Shankara Narayanan Venkateshwara Subramaniam Iyengar. Okay, that's a typical name from southern part of India. And actually, let me ask Charanimaya Prabhu. Prabhu, can you recite, what is your name, Prabhu? Your legal name? Please use the mic. No, loudly.
Chidambaranathan Rajamanikam.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And it's not necessarily from southern part of India, by the way. People who grew up in India, there's an Indian superhero like a Superman. Prabhu, you remember Shaktiman? Be honest, like we watched it when you're growing up, right? In India, there's a TV superhero like a Superman, a Batman, or Spider-Man of the Western world. It's called Shaktiman in India. And his name is Pandit Gangadhar Vidyadhar Mayadhar Omkarnath Shastri. Anybody remembers that? And that's from northern part of India. So it's not necessarily southern Indian names are so difficult to pronounce. As a teenager, I used to watch that TV serial a lot. So I remember the Hindi in the name. So names in India could be long, yes. The good news today, this person's name is small. Like, we have Abby, Corey, Danny, Tori, Vicky, Lily, Bali. Right? Sounds easy? Bali. Everyone says Bali. Bali. Easy, right? Okay. So this is a story of somebody named Bali. And he had the possession of the world's biggest riches. And how? He belonged to a family of demons. Demons are generally considered not so pious people. The word demon means demon. What else can you expect from a demon, right? But this person, even though he belonged to the family of demons, he was very pious. And because of his servitude and his respect for his teachers, his elders, his guru, he accumulated so much piety that all of the previous teachers, they endowed him, they blessed him with all the riches, that you can get all the victory all over the world. And that's how he became the richest person. He went even to the point of the heavens, and then he conquered the heaven. The Indra is the king of heaven. And all the demigods and all the devatas were running around and hiding in places. Oh, we should find a place to hide. Because why? Because somebody has come to conquer this planet of heaven. So in our Vedic system, it is called 14 planets, upper, middle, and lower, and he practically conquered everything. And that's the limit, basically, of how the material world can stretch. And he was practically the conqueror, the ruler of every single system in this realm, in all the realms of the universe. So now, something happens. When he's ruling all over this universe, it creates a sense of imbalance, right? There's imbalance. Things have to be in a certain place. But when only one person is in charge of everything, the world is out of balance. So then the devatas, the demigods, they started praying. And then there's a story of how the Lord Vishnu, the supreme protector, he comes to help all the demigods. And Krishna says, whenever there is a need, I come to re-establish the dharma, the principles of religion. So then the Lord Vishnu, he comes as the incarnation of Vamana. Vamana means a dwarf or a small, short person. So he comes as a Vamana. And then this Vamana is a small boy, like a Brahmin small boy, and he goes to this king, Bali, asking for some charity. And that reminded me of my neighbor, who was giving the story of somebody knocking the door of her car window and say, get me something to eat or something I can use. So in this case, in my neighbor's case, right, there were some afterthoughts in her mind, which he was sharing in the evening. But in this particular situation of Bali, he was so pious that he said, let me give you everything. But then he had his spiritual master, his teacher, his guru. His name is Shukracharya. And he's right there, and he's guiding him. Bali, don't do it. Don't do it. This is not the right person. And he gives them a series of reasons why not to do that charity. Because what the charity is, that Vaman the dwarf asks, very simple thing. Give me 3 steps of land. And 3 steps of land could mean $1 million in the Bay Area. But it could mean a lot in that higher realms. 3 steps of whose steps? That dwarf, who would eventually grow up as a gigantic person and then can cover the entire universe in 1 and 2nd step. So that's how the story unfolds. And this small dwarf, he starts begs for a charity. And then King Bali, because we know by now that he's a pious person, he likes to give charity. And then he promises, I'll give you whatever you ask. And then his teacher, Shukracharya, he intercepts and says, yeah, stop it right there. So this is the situation, that's the background. And now we pick up this lesson from Srimad Bhagavatam today. Everybody with me so far? Yes? Okay, good. So let's do a quick prayer to our previous acharyas, our previous teachers, because of whose blessings we have received this timeless wisdom of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutali Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagada Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagada Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kant Radha Kant Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Everyone together loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriyait. Srimad Bhagavatam 8th Canto, Chapter 19, verse 41. But before that, Prabhu, if you can bring up my slide, please, the first slide. So now the story background is, there is a dwarf, actually who is Lord Vishnu, who is disguised as the dwarf, and his mission is to re-establish the balance in the universe. And the balance is, he doesn't want to kill this king. You know, we know by now, this king is a pious person. And can you remove the sidebar, please? But re-establishing the religion doesn't always mean that you kill somebody, right? Or destroy somebody's possessions. It could also mean that we just do some act of rebalancing, maybe chastising somebody, giving him a kind of more lesson in more psychological or emotional way that somebody understands the things without getting physically hurt. So this lesson is about somebody, this Bali, short name for Bali, right, as I promised. So Bali is tending towards getting proud of his possessions because he has conquered everything in the world. Even though he is a very pious, religious person, he is the most richest person of the world. And that's what the mission of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu becomes here. As a dwarf, as a Vaman avatar incarnation, he wants to destroy not this person, but destroy his ego, his false pride. So then his guru, Shukracharya, he comes and he says, wait, what are you doing? You promised something to this dwarf. And then this Shukracharya gives several reasons, actually nine reasons he gives. Why not to give charity? Okay, ready? So first reason he says, this person, Vamana's identity. This person you are seeing as a Vamana, as a dwarf, as a small kid, small boy, is actually not what you think. He's actually Lord Vishnu himself. Now, Shukracharya is a spiritual teacher. He knows front and back everything, history and future, everything he knows. So he knows what's going to happen, what has happened, what's happening today. He knows everything. So that's why he's warning his student, Bali, the king Bali. Next thing he says is, harm for the demons. So this person is going to bring some harm, some danger. It's imminent. Beware, right? Our family, our dynasty is in danger because of this person. He's actually Hari. Hari is the name of Lord Vishnu. And Hari also means he takes something, Hari. So he's going to usurp everything. Whatever you have in the name of all the possessions, all the universes, all the planets you have, he's Hari, and he is going to take away all of that from you. And then once you have given everything, then how will you live? Because you have nothing to maintain yourself, your family. So that's the fourth reason. And then fifth is, you can't even fulfill your promise. Because this Bali, this dwarf, this Vaman has asked for something which you can't even fulfill. He asked for 3 steps of land. And you think you have 3 steps of land? Just think twice. Maybe you have 1 step or 2 steps, but you don't know the size of this gigantic person. He might grow in a moment from now. He might cover everything you already have, and then what else is there for you to give? He will ask more than you have today. And then, because you won't be able to fulfill your promises, you will break your promise of giving, you will end in hellish conditions. And this person, dwarf, is going to send you to hellish conditions, to lower planetary systems. And before doing our charity, livelihood is more important. First, maintain ourselves, my family, my own bills, my utility bills, right? We say like, yeah, I cannot donate to my temple or whatever, right? Or my charity because I have my home mortgage and my utility bills, and PG&E is increasing like 20% every year or whatever, right? And everything is increasing these days. My HOA is increasing, right, Sushmaji? So, donation, is good, but charity is good, but it comes secondary to my livelihood. First, I have to make sure I'm living, and it's true actually. I mean, I was doing an estimate of how much I am getting out in my pocket as my salary, and it's a kind of personal reflection in my life that, well, in the Bay Area, we know like almost 45% we all donate to Uncle Sam. Am I the only one? Okay, 45% gone. Then on top of that, we have our rents, our mortgage, our HOA, our utility bills, our water, electricity, garbage, property taxes, right? Everything is there. So I did an estimate of that. That added 40% of my salary more to it. So 85% of my salary I'm not seeing. All I get to eat and to wear clothes is just 15% of my salary. Anybody has an analysis before? Prabhu, you know this, right? Govind Prabhu? Right? He's an MBA person, I know. He does this analysis all the time. So 15% of my entire I'm making here, only 15% is what is in my account today. Out of that, I have to purchase my groceries, I have to purchase birthday gifts, I have to purchase my supplies, my home repair, and donation to temple and everything. So life is challenging these days, right? It's difficult. So that's a genuine statement he makes, like livelihood is more important. Then you should divide your donations reasonably. Don't give away all of it. So he's giving all the practical wisdom as a teacher of Bali. And then well, I understand. Well, yeah, you have made a promise, but you can take your promise back. Because there are situations when the truth and lie can be, traded against each other. There could be a harmful truth and a beneficial lie. You can justify speaking a lie in that way, and then you can take back your promise. So these are the 9 reasons the teacher, Bali, the Shukracharya, he gives to the student, the king, Bali. So we'll read from the Srimad Bhagavatam here. And Prabhu, if you can please bring up the Veda base for 8/1941 and biggest screen possible today. The biggest resolution. Thank you. Please repeat after me. Paragariktam purnam va Aksharam yat tadomiti Yat kinchid omiti bruyat Tena richyeta vaipuman Bhikshave sarvamom kurvan Nalam kamena chatmane. Translation. The utterance of the word Om signifies separation from one's monetary assets. In other words, by uttering this word, one becomes free from attachment to money because his money is taken away from him. So be careful when you chant Om. To be without money is not very satisfactory. For in that position, one cannot fulfill one's desires. In other words, by using the word Om, one becomes poverty-stricken. Especially when one gives charity to a poor man or beggar, one remains unfulfilled in self-realization and in sense gratification. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Bali wanted to give everything to Vamana Deva. Vaman is the dwarf, okay, who had appeared as a beggar. But Shukracharya, he is a teacher now, being Bali, Maharaj Bali's familial spiritual master in the line of seminal succession, could not appreciate Maharaj Bali's promise. Shukracharya gave Vedic evidence that one should not give everything to a poor man. Rather, when a poor man comes for charity, one should untruthfully say, "Whatever I have given you. I have no more." Hai nahi? Robin, mayo? Mayo. I don't have anything. Mandarin, by the way, right? It is not that one should give everything to him. Actually, the word Om is meant for Om Tat Sat, the absolute truth. Omkara is meant for freedom from all attachment to money, because money should be spent for the purpose of the Supreme. The tendency of modern civilization is to give money in charity to the poor. Such charity has no spiritual value because we actually see that although there are so many hospitals and other foundations and institutions for the poor, according to the 3 modes of material nature, what are those? Goodness, passion, and ignorance. A class of poor men is always destined to continue. Even though there are so many charitable institutions, poverty has not been driven from human society. Therefore, it is recommended here, Bhikshave sarvam om kurvan nalam kamena chatmane. One should not give everything to the beggars among the poor. The best solution is that of the Krishna consciousness movement. This movement is always kind to the poor, not only because it feeds them, but also because it gives them enlightenment by teaching them how to become Krishna conscious. So this word poor is actually subjective. Some people are so poor, so poor, so poor, that all they have is just a lot of money. Some people are so uneducated, so uneducated, so uneducated, that all they have is just a master's or a PhD from a top university. Some people are so busy, so busy, so busy in their life that all they have is just a computer screen and a bunch of virtual friends they never meet. And that is the poverty of every single person in the world that Krishna consciousness movement is trying to eradicate. And that is the reason why Srila Prabhupada came to the Western world in 1965. We are therefore opening hundreds and thousands of centers for those who are poor. What poor? Spiritually starved people, spiritually poor people, both in money and in knowledge, to enlighten them in Krishna consciousness and reform their character by teaching them how to avoid illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, which are the most sinful activities and which cause people to suffer life after life. The best way to use money is to open such a center where all may come live and reform their character. They may live very comfortably without denial of any of the body's necessities, but they live under spiritual control. And thus, they live happily and save time for advancement in Krishna consciousness. If one has money, it should not be squandered away on nothing. It should be used to push forward the Krishna consciousness movement so that all of human society will become happy, prosperous, and hopeful of being promoted back home, back to Godhead. The Vedic mantra in this regard reads as follows. Parag va etad riktam, aksharam yad etad om iti tad yad kinchit om iti, ahatrayvasmai tad richyate, sa yat sarvam om kuryad richyat atmanam, sa kamebhyo nalam syat. So we'll take a 5 minutes pause here and discuss amongst ourselves if there are reflections or thoughts. And let's leave last 5-10 minutes for the question answer so we can have questions afterwards. But let's discuss about some values or some lessons that we are taking from this reading before we move on. Something that comes to your mind, you like or did not like. Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. This reminded me of a Radhanath Swami moment. He was giving a lecture, but he was talking about J.P. Morgan. I think it was J.P. Morgan, a big banking establishment. They wanted him to give a lecture to their top executives. And he thought it was so funny because he said he hadn't written a check in 60 years and he doesn't have any money. And then they want his advice, all these people with so much money. And it's sort of reflecting the same thing that if even if you have so much money, if you don't have any sort of spiritual knowledge or spiritual values, you're a very poor man.
Yeah, so true. Other thoughts, more reflections? Everybody understands or does not understand. Only two possibilities, right? Sushmaji, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So money may or may not bring happiness, but the spiritual knowledge can bring happiness and contentment.
Yeah, that's so true. Spiritual knowledge can certainly bring more contentment, happiness in heart, right? Fulfillment. Thank you. So now the story continues. So Shukracharya, the teacher, he is now intercepting. Now, stop. You have promised something, but you can take these promises back. Or this promise back. And you should not be donating in charity all of that you have. So then, in response to the 9 reasons, the king, Bali, he gives 9 reasons to continue with why he decided to do charity, to donate money, or not just money, he had everything. And he gives 9 reasons. So it's a full detailed study of, I think, 5 or 6 chapters in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And it's really worth reading. So if you have some time during the holidays, charity time, this gifts holidays time, please read that chapter, these chapters. It's a very beautiful narration of how the right charity in the right mood should be given. So then he continues, and now he gives away everything. And then the dwarf says, okay, let me start my process. And the dwarf becomes a huge person. He stretches himself in a big, giant form. And in the first step, he covers all the land. Second step, he covers all the entire universe, all the planetary systems, upper and lowers, everything. And then the third step is yet to be taken. And as the prophecy came true from the teacher, that you will not be able to fulfill the promise. There is nothing left in the king Bali's possession that he can now award or donate to this Vaman, this dwarf, in charity. Nothing is left with him. So then, Bali does a very wonderful thing. He submits in full surrender to Lord Vishnu, to Vaman, and he says, the only place remaining in the world is my head. And you can keep your foot on my head. And that's how I will be blessed and punish me for any wrongdoings I have done. So now he comes to the senses. He understands that what he was doing by conquering the heavens and all those things was not appropriate towards the balance of the universe. So he is willing to accept all the punishment, and he is humbly standing, praying in front of Lord Vishnu, or Vaman dwarf incarnation. And then there's a story behind Bali. He comes from a demon family, I mentioned earlier, right? So his grandfather, his name is Prahlad. And it's a beautiful story of Prahlad. He's a 5-year-old kid who got his dad killed. There's a reason behind that, but there's a nice story of being a devotee. And it's how Lord Vishnu, Krishna incarnates as half man, half lion, Lord Nrsimhadev, which we can see on the rightmost deity on the altar, Lord Nrsimhadev. So, so Prahlad's son is Virochan, and then his son is, Bali, right? So then he brings his ancestry and says, okay, I belong to such and such family. My grandfather, Prahlad, was such a big devotee, and he was recognized by all your devotees. Although harassed in many ways by his father Hiranyakashipu, he still remained faithful, taking shelter at your lotus feet. So he is now appreciating the dynasty, his family he belongs to. And then we go to chapter 22, verse 9, Prabhu. Yeah, this one. So let's do the word for word translation first, so the meanings, okay? Kim, what is the use? Atmana anena, of this body. Jahati, gives up. Yah, which body? Antataha, at the end of life. Kim, what is the use? Rikta hare, the plunderers of wealth. Swajana akhya dasyubhi, they who are actually plunderers but who pass by the name of relatives. Kim, what is the use? Jayaya, of a wife. Samsriti hetu bhutaya, who is the source of increasing material conditions. Martyasya, of a person sure to die. Gehe, of houses, family and community. Kim, what is the use? Iha, in which house? Ayusha, of the duration of life. Vyayaha, simply wasting. Kimatmanena jahati yontataha. Kimriktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi. Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya. Martyasya gehe kim hayusho vayah. Kimatmanena jahati yontataha. Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi. Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya. Martasya gehe kimihayusho vyayah. From the audience, please. Oh, Prabhu, can you bring back the Sanskrit, please? Yeah.
Kimatmananena jahati yo antata.
Kimatmanena jahati tataha.
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
Martyasya gehe kim ihayusho vyaya.
Martasya gehe kim hayusho vyayah. Thank you, Prabhu. Tim? Malay Prabhu? Yeah.
Kimatmananena jahati yantataha.
Kimatmananena jahati yontataha.
Kim riktaharehi swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim jayaya sansriti hetu bhutaya.
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
Martyasya gehehi kimehayusho vyayah.
Martasya gehe kimihayusho vyayah.
किमात्मनेन जहाति योऽन्ततः
Kimatmanena jahati yontataha.
किं रिक्तहारै स्वजनाख्यदस्युभिः
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
किं जायया संस्मृतिहेतुभूतया
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
मर्तस्य गेहै किम् इहायुषो व्ययः
Martasya gehe kimihayusho vyayah. Anyone else from ladies? No, Sanskrit, please, Prabhu. Can you scroll up back? Sanskrit again, please.
Kim atmanena jahati yontah.
Kim atmanena jahati yontataha.
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim riktahare swajanakhya dasyubhi.
Kim jayaya smriti hetu bhutaya.
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
Martasya gehe kim ihayuso vyavyaha.
Martasya gehe kimihayusho vyayah. Anyone else? One last time. Twice. Okay. How about Tim? Go ahead. Yeah. Take the mic.
Kim atmanene jahati yo nityaha.
Kim atmananena jahati yontataha.
Kim riktahari svajanakya dasyubhi.
Kim riktahare swajanakya dasyubhi.
Kim jaya smriti hitu bhutyaya.
Kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya.
Martasya gahi kim ihayusvyaha.
Martasya gehe kimihayushovya. Thank you. Translation. What is the use of the material body which automatically leaves its owner at the end of life? I love the word automatically leaves. Anybody who tries effort, some put in effort to create a machine or something so that the material body leaves my life? It happens automatically, right? Without even planning for it. Nobody plans for leaving the body. Like, okay, that day I plan. Unless you are a yogi, right? Okay, so, and what is the use of all one's family members who are actually plunderers, taking away money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? So now Bali Maharaj, the king Bali, is now speaking the words of self-realization coming out from his heart. The truth that he has realized after being the king of the entire universe, all the planetary systems. And not just somebody who owns a city or a community or a country or a president of a city or country, something like that. He's the head of the undisputed head of the entire universe. And now these words are coming out from his mouth. Not from his mouth, from his heart. And how he's realizing that what's the use of all these one's family members who are actually plunderers, taking away money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? She is only the source of increasing material conditions. And what is the use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna advises, Sarva dharman paritajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. Give up all other varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. So what are the different varieties of religion that Krishna is asking us to surrender, to leave? What are the different varieties of religion? Then Krishna is saying, Sarva dharmana paritajya. Mike, please.
So, Prabhu, is it about our attachment to our relations and material attachments?
That could be a kind of religion, yeah. People say, my religion is to serve my family, or my religion is to serve my country or society. So people can translate religion into that way. Yes, good point. Attachment to family, society, country, and this earth. It can be all considered a kind of religion. And of course, there are religions today like different. I grew up in a Hindu family, right? There's Christianity and different names are there for religions. So Krishna is saying that abandon all varieties of religion, just give up all varieties. To be Krishna conscious, we have to just surrender to Krishna, regardless of which religion we come from. The common man does not appreciate such a statement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he thinks that during his lifetime, his family, society, country, body, and relatives are everything. That's the biggest illusion. That everything is my people, my family, and all. Why should one give up any one of them and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead when my life is running well, I'm getting my salary, and I am spending time with my family members in the evening, watching Netflix, so why should I be surrendering to Krishna? I'm happy in my life. But now we hear, but from the behavior of great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, we understand that surrendering to the Lord is the right action for an intelligent person. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Vishnu against the will of his father. Similarly, Bali Maharaj took shelter of Vamanadeva against the will of his spiritual master. Disobedience is in their ancestry. Right, the grandfather and like the grandson. Yeah, but they are disobedient for a purpose, for a higher purpose. The common man would say that, yeah, my religion is to obey the instructions of my father, Or the common man would also say that the religion for me is to follow the instructions of my teacher. But what if the father is not teaching the right thing? Or what if the teacher is not teaching the right thing? And that's basically personified by these people, Bali and Prahlad. That the father, Hiranyakashipu, was against Lord Vishnu. And that's why the son decided to go against his father for a higher cause. And that's the real intelligence. In the same way, the teacher Shukracharya was telling the student, disciple Bali, not to give charity to Vaman, to the dwarf, but he went against him, the instructions of his teacher, and despite that, he decided to give charity and to promise something. So people may be surprised that devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj could seek shelter of the side of the enemy, giving up the natural affinity for family, hearth and home. In this connection, Bali Maharaj explains that the body, which is the center of all material activities, is also a foreign element. So what's the foreign element? Sometimes you have this pain in your eye, doctor says there's a foreign element in your eye, like there's a piece of metal or dust particle or something, a speck. It's a foreign element in your eye. So something which is not belonging to my original nature. So this body is not mine. Actually, the body is deteriorating. It undergoes birth, death, old age, and disease, as we know, right? Which is not our true identity. In that way, body is a foreign element. It's not me. Body is something else that I have acquired for this earth to live a few years and then leave this body. Even though we want to keep the body fit and helpful to our activities, the body cannot continue eternally. Although I am the soul, which is eternal, after using the body, so we are using the body. I am not the body. I am just using the body like the jacket or a coat or a hat. It gets old, I discard it, throw it away, and then get a new one. So the body is like that. After using the body for some time, I have to accept another body, tatha dehantara prapti, according to the laws of nature. Unless I render some service with the body for advancement in devotional service. One should not use the body for any other purpose. One must know that if he uses the body for any other purpose, he is simply wasting time. For as soon as the time is ripe, the soul will automatically leave the body. We are very interested in society, friendship, and love, but what are they? Those in the garb of friends and relatives merely plunder the hard-earned money of the bewildered soul. If you have not seen it, I can tell. I have seen my family happening that. You don't have to speak all of that here, but this is true. That they are relatives and people who actually just destroy all the money that somebody has accumulated, and they plunder all the wealth, even while the person is living. Everyone is affectionate towards his wife and is attached to her. But what is this wife? The wife is called Stri, which means one who expands the material condition. If a person lives without a wife, his material conditions are less extensive, like Katu Karna Prabhu. What do you think? He's a brahmachari, he has taken vows of lifetime brahmachari, right? So, what do you think? Not having a wife?
Yeah, I totally agree with what is being said here. So, I mean, it's very practical. It's very practical. I don't have to say anything. You know more than I do. I don't have to know it. You have to.
Yeah, I know. Manta Siddhi is watching on Zoom, I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, as soon as one marries and is connected with a wife, his material necessities increase. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavametam tayor mito hridaya granthi mahu atho griha kshetra sutapa vitair janasya moho yamahammameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Human life is meant for self-realization, not for increasing unwanted things. Wow, it's a very powerful statement. Unwanted things. This reminds me that it's holidays time and I have to clean up my garage. Am I the only one? Anybody else wants to clean the old items? Right? So we have accumulated, all of us have accumulated unwanted things in our life. Now, actually a wife increases unwanted things. One's lifetime, one's home and everything one has, if not properly used in the service of the Lord, are all sources of material conditions of perpetual suffering under the threefold miseries, Adhyatmika, Adhibhautika and Adhidevika. Unfortunately, there is no institution in human society for education on this subject. People are kept in darkness about the goal of life. And thus there is a continuous struggle for existence. People are kept in darkness, right? And they are made to spend money on Santa and dinosaurs, both of which do not exist. We speak of survival of fittest, but no one survives, for no one is free under material conditions. Let's take a couple of reflections, and then I have a few slides to share. But any thoughts, any ideas that come to your mind after reading this purport? Yes, Manoj Prabhu, at the back.
That was an interesting discussion today.
Depends on whether you are married or not.
Huh?
Are you married or not?
Not.
That's interesting then.
Few days before.
I'm worried about myself now.
Few days before, we had a discussion about this one. That I was Shankar Prabhuji, and we have a discussion in the room that if we don't get married, that means we get less attachment to the material world. That was without knowing that, I just told that. But Prabhuji said, no, that's not true. Maybe in a married life also, both can devote it to Krishna and have also possible to do whatever actually the main objective. So, but today directly I see that from your discussion that being unmarried basically it's better for devotional service. Is it right?
So, Prabhu, the idea here is not to compare married versus unmarried life. The idea here is to go to the point. The point is the attachment. We can be attached to certain things if we are not married, right? So it's the attachment to one's family members, wife and relatives. And same can be reversed, like husband can be also a cause of wife's spiritual stagnation. A wife wants to progress spiritually, but attachment to a husband, because husband is not a devotee or not progressing spiritually, could be true for the wife also. So what Prabhupada is saying is basically the attachment to the house, society, and family members, and not something wrong with the wife in particular, right? Right. And as you know, getting married is not prohibited in our system. We all get married, right? So, the point here is to make the life conducive for Krishna consciousness, the life more suitable for. And I will end with a very nice purport from Bhagavad Gita, okay? How do we accomplish that afterwards? In a few minutes, but good point. Other thoughts on this topic? Yes, Mataji. So in the meantime, Prabhu, can you bring up my slide back, please?
So Prabhu, like you said that it's not about getting married or, not getting married. So my point was that same can be with the men also, because this body is just a cover and inside is the soul, and what the soul has its own vasanas. So like sometimes I feel that, like you were saying, to clean up the garage, I try to get rid of things, and then Prabhuji says, no, let's keep it, we might need it. So it's not about men or women, it's about the vasanas of the soul they're carrying.
Attachment can be held by anybody, men or
Yes,
women,
yes.
regardless of your gender, yes. So we are here warned against the attachment to unnecessary things in life. Let's go to the next slide, actually I'll go. Why is the resolution not coming here properly? But we are go. Well, we are fixing it. Sorry, my Prabhu, can you please take a look at it? Why the resolution is not showing up? The resolution is cutting out, right?
Yeah, Prabhu, I was just recollecting how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Naham Vipro Nachanarapate. So I'm not a sannyasi, I'm not a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, sannyasi. I'm just a servant of the master of the gopis. So that's the actual identity. So whether one is a man or woman, his eternal nature is to serve the Lord. So I just want to...
Naham vipro nacha narpate napi vaishyo na shudro naham varni nacha graha patirno vanasthoya tirva kintu pradyo nikhila paramananda purnamatabdir gopi bhartu padkamalayor dasa dasanu dasaha. I am not a brahmachari, I am not a householder, I am not a vanaprastha, I am not a sannyasi, I am not a renounced person. I am not a top-class brahmana, I am not a fighter, warrior, administrator, kshatriya either. I am not a mercantile businessman either. I am not a shudra. These are all external material affiliations. I am outside any of these definitions of material social relations. I am only a servant of the servant of the servant of the gopis.
So in that sense, nobody is higher and nobody is lower.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you. Such a beautiful message. Thank you. So that's so we talked about ancestry. We talked about Prahlad Maharaj and his grandson, right? So let's talk about what people can leave for their families. Unnecessary, unwanted thing. One day, son, all this will be yours. And my wife was telling me, interestingly, my 3-year-old son's toys, electronic toys, are more capable and more powerful than the first cell phone I had 20 years ago. Agree or not? So what with a family? So what do we have to leave for the legacy? As a legacy for the next descendants, the family? This clutter in the garage? All this will be, or the values, the principles of devotional life, spiritual values that we can leave as the best gift for our family members in this holiday season and beyond. Right? And regardless of you are married or not married, what have you collected in your life? Let me ask this question to people who are not married. Maybe Adinath Prabhu, Kautu Karna Prabhu. Let's do the exercise. But let's take a couple of minutes break. Turn towards everybody, left or right, anybody you like. Okay, for 2 minutes, then let's discuss a few things that you want to get rid of during this holidays time. It could be doesn't need to be material, physical things. It could be baggage in your life, any old things. And let's make a resolution to keep things out of our life which are not necessary. Right? That's the lesson of this purport today. Are you in? Let's take a 2 minutes break. Okay, let's get back to our life here. So, maybe a couple of reflections on... okay, Manoj, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I have nothing to discard because you just already explained. Because I spent my 33 years just studying, then research, and then teaching.
Okay,
and
perfect.
by grace of devotees, I will say, because I met Nimai Sundur Prabhuji in India 2012. Because of his grace, I came in contact with more of Shastra, the spiritual knowledge. So it I become more aware of what I gonna do or not. So basically, what I want to say that I spend learning, then research and teaching. That is my 33 years I have done. So I have nothing to discard. Prabhuji, do you have anything?
Let's be short. We have only 5 minutes, and we have the next event after this. So go ahead. Nothing. Okay. Other reflections, other thoughts? We have Mataji.
So Prabhu, just like I said, according to our vasanas, we collect things, and then I think then we realize that we don't need it. Like for example, I have collected so many decorations for Christmas, and over the years I have been putting it out. But now I feel that everything comes with the good part and the bad part. How much effort I'm putting it, taking it out, putting it for the decoration, and then at the end I have to put. And actually, I'm not seeing that decoration. I'm putting it for the outside people. So actually, I'm not enjoying. But with that, so much pain. So with everything which want to enjoy the material world, lies the pain also in that. So. Yeah.
Thank you. One more, maybe in the back. Yeah, Tim, go ahead.
When it comes to collecting things, sometimes prajalpa is like even water cooler talk. At the workplace, you'll get so much useless information, and then if you engage in it, it gets stuck in your mind, and it's really hard to get it out. Even it comes out in my chanting sometimes. I'll be chanting Hare Krishna, and then some pastime, some mundane pastime of one of my coworkers going out to the beach, and then or doing something stupid on the weekends, and then it gets cluttered in the mind in that way, and it's something to watch. Something that I want to work on, at least for the next year, is working more on refining my speech and my listening skills.
Wonderful. These are all the subtle elements that we can try to keep out of our life, which somehow come into our heart. Okay, good. So, last few minutes for closing. The story. So now, what happens is, the king Bali, he gives he surrenders himself to the Vaman, the dwarf, and then, as a punishment, he is even promoted as somebody who is directly under the protection of Lord Vishnu. So he was given a balanced realm to rule. Earlier he was creating imbalance in the universe, so he was ruling all the planetary systems, but now he was given a dedicated planet called Sutala. Now he's ruling there. And Lord Vishnu promised him that I will be personally there to help you in all your well-being and everything. I'll be your protector. That's a great promotion as a part of punishment he got. Right? That's the end of the story. Lessons. Devotional life is not a dry, philosophical or speculative activity. In Bhakti Yoga, one of the key activities that we do is called Dadati Pratigahanati. Dadati means give, and Pratigahanati means receive. So yes, giving of charity, giving of gifts, and receiving of gifts and exchanging of loving these gifts is very highly encouraged if we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. So please don't think that we are against giving charity or donations. However, as Bhagavad Gita says, these donations, gifts, and charity should be considered based on Desh Kal Patra, means situation, place, circumstances, time, and the recipient. Okay? In the mode of goodness, and which is called Sattvic gift. And then regarding family life. So how can one make family life more purposeful or meaningful, right? The idea here is not to go against your husband or wife, that I read it in the class today, I don't need a wife tomorrow. So Prabhu, for closing, can you just bring up Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13, verse 12, purport. Srila Prabhupada says that how one can make one's family life successful. 13:12. So 8 to 12 basically is 8 to 12, yeah. You have to scroll down maybe manually. Yeah, and then maybe can you make the screen a little bigger? And do the Control F, search for family. Okay, little bit up. Up. Okay, here, stop. Okay, thank you. As for detachment from children, wife, and home, it is not meant that one should have no feeling for these. They are natural objects of affection. But when they are not favorable to spiritual progress, then one should not be attached to them. The best process for making the home pleasant is Krishna consciousness. If one is in full Krishna consciousness, he can make his home very happy, because this process of Krishna consciousness is very easy. Now he says 4 things here. First, one need only chant, everyone, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. 2, accept the remnants of foodstuffs offered to Krishna, which is called prasadam. 3, have some discussion on books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. And 4, engage oneself in deity worship. These 4 things will make one happy. One should train the members of his family in this way. The family members can sit down morning and evening and chant together, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. If one can mold his family life in this way to develop Krishna consciousness, following these 4 principles, then there is no need to change from family life to renounced life. Good news, right? Yahoo! Okay, so that's what brings us to a close today. Thank you, everyone. Maybe 1 or 2 questions if we can take before we move on to the next event. Any quick questions? If not, then I'm here for the next 30 minutes to an hour, and then, okay, Prabhu.
Just a reflection, Prabhu. Once I was hearing from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. So the survival of the fittest, right? Darwin's theory says that, talks about survival of the fittest, but even the fittest cannot survive.
Fittest cannot survive.
Because in the waves of time, everybody has to die.
Yes. Well, that's so true. Yeah. Okay, so thank you everyone for your kind tolerance and bearing with me for the past an hour and a half. And the next event for today is our class by our youth. So little more, 15-20 minutes more, and then we'll have prasadam after that. And I'm here for the next 30 minutes to an hour maybe, and you can ask any questions if you would like to discuss or share any other thoughts. I'm thankful to the temple authorities and my spiritual master for allowing me this opportunity to glorify the words of Srimad Bhagavatam and the message of Srila Prabhupada. And thank you again for all the audience and all your kind oral reception. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhyo vicha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Samaved Bhaktivind ki
Hare Krishna. So today Siddhi from our Yaśodā class, Sunday school, she will be doing a presentation on the topic 3 Bharatas, and she has prepared this from the book called Disapproved Not Disowned by His Grace Gauranga Das Prabhuji. So yeah, please welcome her.
Hare Krishna, my name is Siddhi, and today I will present the story of the three Bharats. So who are the three Bharats? They were Bharat Maharaj, Dear Bharat, and Jada Bharat. So first we'll talk about the story of Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj was the son of sage Rishabdev, and he ruled the earth for 10 million years. After fulfilling his duties, he renounced his throne and went to the forest to pray to Krishna. He went to Palashram, a holy hermitage on the banks of river Gandaki. There, he deeply engaged in devotion and meditation to Krishna. One day, while meditating, he rescued a newborn fawn from the river and cared for it deeply. Over time, his attachment to the deer grew stronger, and he started neglecting his spiritual duties. Being compassionate isn't a bad thing, but compassion on a material platform can distract one's spiritual quest. Real compassion is to raise someone from the material to the spiritual platform. One day, the deer wandered into the forest and didn't return, leaving Bharat distressed and consumed by anxiety. Unable to focus on anything else, Bharat spent his final days longing for the deer's return. At the moment of his death, his thoughts were entirely on the deer. In Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Krishna says, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajati ante kalevaram tam tam eva iti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. At the time of his death, Bharat Maharaj's thoughts were solely focused on the deer, and thus in his next life he attained the body of a deer. So in his next life, Bharat was born as a deer. But by the Lord's grace, he remembered all his past memories from his past lifetime. Reflecting on how his attachment to the deer had derailed his spiritual progress, he felt deep regret, and he wanted to avoid repeating this mistake. Detaching himself from his herd, he wandered to the holy site of Pulashram, where he had practiced devotion in his previous life. The deer spent its days in quiet seclusion, grazing only to survive and keeping his mind focused on the Lord. Avoiding distractions and bad associations, dear Bharat constantly meditated on the Lord, yearning to escape his animal form. At the end of his life, he left his body thinking only of Krishna and allowing him to have a human birth in his next life. In Bhagavad Gita 9.31, Krishna says, Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvak chantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. The Lord gave Bharat the token punishment to enter the body of a deer for a short time. This was only to increase his longing for the Lord and desire for bhakti. An animal to human body typically takes many lifetimes of transmigration through several species of life. However, due to the Lord's will, dear Bharat achieved an animal to human body in only one lifetime. So, in his next lifetime, he was born as Jada Bharat. Jada Bharat was born into a pious Brahmin family, but due to the memories of his past lifetime, he was completely detached from worldly concerns. Aware of the dangers of attachment, he pretended to be dull and unresponsive to avoid forming connections or being drawn to material distractions. He acted indifferent to everything, much to the frustration of his family. After his father's death, his 9 brothers took over his care and treated him poorly. They assigned him menial tasks like guarding fields and fed him poor food. But Jada remained calm and accepted everything as the will of the Lord. So once there was an incident where a few thieves abducted Jada with the intention of sacrificing him to goddess Kali. Kali, being a devotee of the Lord herself, was furious that another devotee was being harmed. She arose from her idol and killed all the thieves. Throughout all this, Jada remained calm and composed, with his focus only on the Supreme Lord, to show his determination not to be distracted from his spiritual path. Later in life, Jada imparted his teachings to King Rahuguna, as shown in the picture. In the same lifetime, due to his devotional service and the Lord's grace, Jada returned back to Godhead. So from this, what do we learn from the lives of the 3 Bharats? From Bharat Maharaj's story, we learned that a sadhaka needs to be constantly alert to deal with the unexpected distractions in spiritual life. By giving Bharat the token punishment to enter the body of a deer and preserving the memories of his previous life, we understand that behind the strictness of God is a soft heart that cannot allow him to disown his devotee who might be at fault. The devotee needs to have faith in the Lord's decision and appreciate his intent for protection behind his punishment. In Jada-bharat's life, the realizations he got were profound and led him to an intensified absorption in the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 2.40, the Lord says, "In this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear." Jada-bharat, learning from his previous 2 lifetimes, was more spiritually advanced, allowing him to deal with the unexpected distractions in spiritual life and eventually return to Godhead. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Siddhi, for a wonderful presentation. Now, if anyone has any questions or any realization or any comment, please go ahead and share.
Yes.
Thank you for the nice presentation. So last week we heard the story of Ajamil. So he chanted Narayana at the end of his life, and Vishnudutas came and they rescued him. And within next 12 years or so, he perfected his life. But if you look at the case of Bharat Maharaj, he was almost on the stage of bhavas before he became affectionate to the deer. And it doesn't seem to be a fair punishment to the Lord to put him in a deer's body, right? Just by chanting once Narayana, of course, at the end of his life, Ajamila got perfection. But in case of Bharat Maharaj, even though he is so much spiritually elevated, he has to go through this body of deer's life. So how do you explain that?
So from what I got from this is that even though he spent most of his life in devotion to the Lord, at the end of his life he neglected his spiritual duties, and his mind and his thoughts were focused solely on the deer and not Krishna. So he attained the body of a deer. Is that?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm wondering, how is it a fair punishment in terms of?
So, Prabhuji, just my realization that in case of Ajamil also, when he chanted Narayan, he was protected from the Yamadutas and Vishnudutas came, and he was given a chance. He was also given a chance. And in this case also, though Bharat Maharaj was attached to the deer, so he also got a chance. So I think this is fair enough, because both the cases, they both got chances.
Yeah, and in his next lifetime as a deer, he remembered all his previous memories so that he could continue the path to go back to Godhead.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think he has the remembrance even in the body of deer. He was able to recollect. And it intensified his devotion, as you mentioned in the last slide, right? It just intensified his devotion to the Lord gradually. Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you for the nice presentation. I really like the point that Bharat Maharaj was very careful. Even in the body of the deer, he would graze only to survive, and keeping the mind focused on the Lord, yearning to escape his animal form. So I have a question: how can we keep this urgency, while not being detached from like Jad Bharat, he detached himself completely from the world. So what is practical for today? We cannot become like Jad Bharat. What do you suggest for today?
That's a really good question, but I don't think I know the answer, if Mataji knows it.
So again, Prabhu, I'm not equipped to give all the answers, but I'm sharing my realization that if you see the pure devotees, they are like Jad Bharat. They don't try to show what they really have inside them. They try to keep it very subdued, just like Jad Bharat. He was so realized, yet he never let anyone know that he was so high, self-realized. So if we see real devotees or the real self-realized person, they will never come out in the public and they will say that I'm self-realized. They will try to be like servants of the servant, and be very humble and serve everyone. So no one can know actually that he's a pure devotee. So they are actually like Jad Bharat. So their mind is totally fixed that this life only Krishna, everything else is like will take me away from the Krishna. So Krishna and no Krishna, that's my understanding.
And also association with other devotees can also help.
Anyone else? Any realization, comments, questions?
So one major problem that Bharata Maharaj had is lack of association. So if only there is some association, when he was getting attached to the deer, he would have got some reminders.
Yeah, it's very difficult to fight the Maya alone, but with devotees, it becomes so easy and it's so joyful. Like in today's lecture also, being in married life also, if we practice like eating prasadam, chanting, reading about Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, your life becomes so happy. So my realization before, like I was practicing yoga, and when I was practicing yoga alone, meditation in yoga, it was so like difficult for me, like every day. I was struggling because when you go out in the world, it is totally different. When you come home, you meditate, it is totally different. But now I feel that suddenly why it has become so joyful and so, enlightened, I mean, so happy. Sometimes I feel, am I going wrong or right? Why am I so happy? So yeah, that's so true that association does matter. It gives a lot of strength to us. Anyone else?
Yeah, I have. So in the beginning of the story, King Bharat took the dear Bharat transition, right? Because from the story I see like the attachment to the deer was like 100% or like predominant factor. That's why he took it. How about if you have a situation, someone who remember Krishna as well as he also have attachment to any other factor, let's say deer, then what will happen? Do you consider that the whatever the predominant thinking that will get priority to get the next body form? Or do you get my question?
Can you repeat the question again? Sorry.
So let's say it's not fully somebody during the death remember Krishna, but let's say you have a two types of attachment. You remember Krishna as well as you remember others. Then what will happen?
I believe that it is Krishna's will, and whatever he wants to happen will happen. But also, whoever you think at the time of death, like if you think of Krishna at the time of your death, you will go back to Godhead by his will.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else? So concluding, so thank you everyone for being such a wonderful audience and asking such good questions. And thank you, Siddhi, for the wonderful presentation. Thank you, everyone.
Any announcement? Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining us for Saturday morning program. We had a wonderful japa session in the morning by His Grace Yaśodā-kṛpā Prabhu. He spoke about how, I think this is UN, they have declared today to be the World Meditation Day, the first meditation day. And he took that opportunity to give us the benefits of chanting, that in chanting we are remembering Krishna, and the goal of the chanting is Krishna. He also gave a wonderful lecture on the Bali Maharaj, the easiest word in Sanskrit to remember, Bali. How Bali, although he was instigated by his teacher to not give the charity, he wanted to give the charity to Lord Vishnu. So he could do that because of his ancestry, because of Prahlad Maharaj. So let's thank Yaśodā-kṛpā Prabhu with a big round of applause. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! We also had a wonderful kirtan by His Grace Adinath Krishna Prabhu. So let's thank him also for the kirtans. Hare Krishna! Hari Bol! Hari Bol! And we are inching towards our goal for the December marathon. As you know, we have only 2 more weeks to go. And we have a goal of distributing at least 70,000 Bhagavad Gitas. 78,000, thank you. So at least 78,000. So we have many spots for Sankirtan. People are going out. Maybe if it is raining, they are going in covered spots like Indian stores. Many of them are calling their friends and sending them a Bhagavad Gita. If you like to support the distribution of Bhagavad Gita, you can contact me or any of the volunteers on temple. You can support by sponsoring a case of Gita. You can take a case of Gita with yourself and distribute them yourselves. As you know, this is a holiday season. Yaśodā-kṛpā Prabhu mentioned in US, gifts for holiday season amount to $1 trillion. So we can spend some of that on Gita and distribute at least 4.2 million Gitas all over the world. Hare Krishna. Now we'll have Prashadam. So we'll sing the Prashadam prayers. Okay. Sharira Vidyajal Jodendriya Tahekal Jibe Phele Bishaya Sagore Tar Madhe Jivayati Lobo Moi Sudurmati Take jeta katina samsare Krishna bodo doyamoy Kori bare jivajay Swaprasadana dilo bhai Sheyanamrita pao Radha Krishna guna gao Preme dako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Preme dako Shri Chaitanya Nitai Mahaprasade Govinde Nama Brahmani Vaishnave Svalpa punya vatam rajan Vishvaso naiva jayate Prasade sarva dukkhana Hani rasyo pachayate Prasanna chetaso hi ashu Buddhi paryavatishtate Tavyopabhukta slaganda Vasulankar charchita Uchishta bhojino dasas Tava mayam jayemahi Shushkam paryushitam vapi nitam vaduraleshata Prapti matrena bhoktavyam Natra kala vicharana Na desha niyamastatra Na kala niyamastatha Praptam annam drutam shishtair Bhoktavyam harirabravir Bhagavad Shri Mahaprasad ki jai.
So we'll have some kirtan for 10 minutes led by His Grace Adinath Prabhu. And then, as I promised in the morning, all what we do in Bhakti Yoga is get up in the morning at 4, start singing and dancing and jumping. We eat and we again sing and dance. So we dance for 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe, and then we can have prasadam. Sounds like a plan? Hare Krishna, let's do it. Let's put the seats back at the right place where they belong, and then get ready for a quick 5 to 10 minutes of kirtan. I'll take care of this.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, Jaya Mahaprabhu. Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Narahari. Narasimha Jaya Narahari. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवदकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद्भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिवदकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की गंगा माई यमुना माई की समावेत भक्तविंद की ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Gaur Premanande. Please come take prasadam, will be served outside. No, outside or I think, yeah, still outside.